We are back with what's going to be a fun video. I know it is, because we're looking at Mr. John Clarke. John Clarke is awesome. I just discovered him literally yesterday, and brilliant. Brilliant is the first word that comes to mind. It's a late John Clarke, so of course, gone way too soon. I'll be learning about another famous monologue of his called Farnarkeling, or Farnarkeling, something like that. And so it's supposedly like a fictional sport, but he gets really into it. And of course, I expect a smooth, perfectly delivered comedic monologue, as I would expect from a legendary Aussie like this. Technically a Kiwi. Get it right, Ian. From Heraclitus, this is the channel name, so this will be linked in the description down below, like always. And many, probably a dozen of you from the video from yesterday, the front fell off, suggested this video. So let's waste no more time. Let's get into this. Let's have a laugh, and let's see what we got here.
Good evening. The Australian Farnarkelers were literally on top of the world last night following their epoch-making victory against the formidable East German Farnarkeling machine in a closely contested final at the People's Farnarkeling Centre in light drizzle and heavy security in Moscow. The ruthlessly professional East Germans began strongly and had the Australians reeling from a series of quite obvious and very brutal personal fouls. But just after the Liederkranz, it became obvious that the continually impressive Dave Sorensen had weathered the bone-crushing first warble and was prepared to take the fixture right up to the East Germans after the umlaut. The turning point came in the third warble when the oleaginous Sorensen arcled from well behind his own goal line, despite being held by both opposing fullbacks in the small ice-flattening machine he'd inadvertently backed into during a lapse in concentration. Unfortunately, only moments later, he struck an overhead light with a wet knee and short-circuited his trousers. It'll be tragic indeed if he can't be de-ionised in time to return home to what promises to be a hero's welcome in Sydney on Tuesday night. The victorious Australian Farnarkeling team returned home.
Okay, so that's the first one. So, okay, this is a couple different ones then. This is cool. Okay. Awesome, as always. Perfectly straight-faced, smooth, just smooth delivery. I don't know how else to put it to you. It's just, man, he's got a flavor, doesn't he? He's just got a way of doing it that's so satisfying and so dry humor hilarious. It's awesome. There is a song at the end, by the way, which I would love to hear. I will hear in my own time. We can't do it on the video because there's like a million copyright notices here, so I can't do the song. I apologize, but like I said, it's always linked in the description so you can check out the full video. Let's keep
triumph last night with the Beveldorp safe in their keeping until the challenge round begins again in late July Australian time. The team members were fulsome in their praise of the running of the championships and are approaching the government to get an Arkling grommet of international standard built in Canberra so overseas teams can provide much-needed competition here during the northern summer. The heavily bandaged Dave Sorensen, who aggravated a thigh injury with a heavy fall from the aircraft while deplaning before the ramp was in position, reacted strongly to suggestions that corporate sponsorship is poised to take Farnarkeling into a commercial television. Proposals are already with the governing body to introduce a solid program of one-day Farnarkeling fixtures, underlights with edited highlights between the warbles and a viewer competition tentatively called Classic Arkles. Major manufacturers have already come up with what they claim is the definitive Farnarkeling shoe, and T-shirts and initiatives in fast food are apparently already in the pipeline.
We got merch!
Sorensen said he would have nothing whatever to do with what he described as a ridiculous Farnarkeling circus, which he claimed would turn the game into some kind of joke, although he did admit that he'd been approached. It'll be very unfortunate for Arklephiles if Sorensen's assault hearing coincides with the exhibition match in Perth next Friday. Good evening. A capacity crowd was treated to a display of champagne Farnarkeling in an exhibition fixture run in Perth on Friday to aid world famine relief. In an all-star engagement, the victorious Australian World Championship side lined up against a composite invitation team from other Farnarkeling countries. The national side quickly demonstrated its total mastery of the code and pulled out every type of arkle from all parts of the grommet and seemed to have the flukum on a string, particularly when moving forward in defence. The very dexterous Dave Sorensen, who seems to set new standards every time he steps onto the sward, was in inspirational form, and the game has never had a better ambassador. He was instrumental in one almost magical arkle just before the umlaut when he knocked one up from well outside the whiffenwhacker by deflecting the gonad with his foot while being tackled.
This vocabulary is like,
from well outside the whiffenwhacker by deflecting the gonad with his foot while being tackled. He was later involved in an unfortunate altercation with a section of wire netting at the southern end of the concourse, and it will be tragic indeed if he can't be disengaged in time for the Sportsman of the Year dinner, where he's the red-hot favourite to pick up the big one. Thank you, Geraldine. Dave Sorensen was named Sportsman of the Year at a well-attended postprandial black tie wallop in Sydney earlier this evening, Australian time. The heavily bandaged but very dignified Sorensen, the Mick Young of Australian Farnarkeling, was given a standing ovation as an edited sequence of some of his more spectacular arcles was projected onto a makeshift grommet positioned in the ceiling at the back of the transom housing. Unfortunately, Sorensen suffered a catastrophic personal mishap while mounting the podium to pick up the sculpted tribute. He hadn't looked well since the soup, and it was no surprise to onlookers when he fell through a rostrum interstice only seconds later while raising the golden artefact and thanking his immediate family. Organisers said that this was the first time since the function's inception that the award had been taken internally. And it will be tragic indeed if the accolade-ectomy cannot be performed in time for Sorensen to attend the launching of the Farnarkeling Federation's new televised drive for popular support.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I do apologize. We're going to cut it there. I just can't risk the copyright total blockage. I want you guys to see this with me, so we're going to cut it there. But, yeah, that was spectacular, as always. I really love that I discovered this. You guys are awesome. Always teaching me cool things. We learn from each other. That's what I love about this channel and this growing community. And, wow, this is this was obviously different than the last one, much earlier, I presume, too. But he's just got, like I said, he's got it. He's got it with the humor. I just love his brand of humor. It's really, really fun. The way he delivers it is just awesome. I don't know. I like a lot of different brands of comedy and humor and jokes. But for some reason, this one always hits home with me. Like, I just really appreciate this style, and he's got it. It's really cool. So I have tons of suggestions from the last video that I screenshotted that I hopefully will get to soon. If you would like to suggest more, of course, you can do that. There's the wife. Guys, this was really, really smooth. The way he was giving us the rundown on Farnarkeling and the vocabulary he was using was just hilarious. So cannot wait to see your comments on this one. Again, I will have the first one I reacted to of his linked at the end of this one, so watch the end screen. And yeah, guys, I just love it. I really, really love it. Do apologize for this choppy outro. I got called like 4 times during this outro. Bottom line, please throw a thumbs up, a like on this video. Help this video out because this was really, really fun. And I hope that you watched this and enjoyed it as I did. And of course, you can subscribe, join our amazing community if you haven't already. Excuse me. We are on our way to 100,000, and I'm super, super stoked. It's moving so swiftly. We just crossed 68,000 earlier today, the day I'm making this video. And it's just awesome. I really, really love you guys. Thank you. And look for that description. Look for this original video down there, as well as other ways you can interact with me. I'm on Facebook and Instagram at IWrocker. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.